Yo, what's going on, man? Today is February the 16th, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show, live on Twitter. I'm also live on YouTube for the new people that may have popped in. See a lot of returning faces, but there's always new people, joining the show, becoming a part of the community. So check me out on either platform. We got three games to get into before the All-Star break starts. And we get some all-star festivities. I didn't do a morning show. Excuse me. I did say that I was going to do a morning show, but feeling a little bit under the weather, man. So it does feel like the all-star break is coming at a really good time. I'm not like disabled or anything. I just didn't feel like I had a excuse me, a strong voice to get the show done this morning. So capped the games last night. Like a few things, not really gonna force anything. It is the last night. I talked about last night before the All-Star break. Really, really difficult to cap the motivations of these teams. I talked about that yesterday, and then I saw a lot of people tweeting on Twitter that the National Blowout Association. I told you it's gonna be I told everybody it's gonna be a lot of 1, 2, 3 Cancun, in the break, because these NBA players are just like us as humans, and when we got a break coming up, where we can go let our hair down and have a little fun. It's totally normal to not do your job 100% when you don't have that sense of motivation and sense of urgency to get a win or to play extremely hard. So, quick recap of yesterday, as I always do before we get into the show today. We did go well. I went 1-0 on official plays. I only gave out the under for the Hornets and the excuse me. The Hornets and the Spurs, 243.5. The game finished at 230. So that was a good cash. Also talked about that Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. It was flip-flop. I expected the Hawks to play better defense, but the Knicks actually locked the Hawks up. I think they had like 8 points with like a couple minutes left in the first quarter. That first half under, I think it was 117.5 cashed as well. If anybody rolled with me on that one. I talked about that play, hadn't locked it in yesterday morning on the ChrisBeCappinn on the Cashed It with Chris show. So yesterday, really productive day. Definitely don't want to give it all away. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I absolutely hate losing and not being able to do anything about it. So if I lose today, it's just gonna sit with me for until next Wednesday, till next Thursday. Next Thursday, I think. So there's no more basketball to bet on besides the All-Star festivities, which is really just fun, right? You can sprinkle on those things, but I don't think it's a time to make a lot of money at all, just based on the volatility of the market. So like I said, overall 1-0 day on officials, 1-0 day on leans as well, and a lot of the other things I talked about cashed as well, but I won't get into all of those. If you played something that I gave out, congratulations. I'm glad you cashed it, and let's move on to today. So only a 3-game card for today. First game we got up is and matter of fact, give me 1 second. Let me grab my iPad. Just make sure I got up the best odds. So 3 games for today. First game we're going to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks traveling to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bulls, who gave up a nice little 24-point lead yesterday. This Bulls team seems like they're in shambles. They've been losing a lot of games recently, just struggling to be consistent. DeMar DeRozan, I want to say is still listed as questionable for this game. I know he didn't play last night. The Bulls came out absolutely blasted the Indiana Pacers early. I think it was 39-15 at the end of the first quarter before they started to kind of fight back, and the Indiana Pacers ended up like they always do, go down early, fight back in the second quarter. I think they had got it within like 9 or 10 at halftime, and then slowly just kind of chipped away at it. So haven't seen any news on. Oh, I'm sorry. DeRozan is listed as out. I don't think I saw that. So DeRozan listed as out on one side. Also for Milwaukee, they have Chris Middleton listed as out. The Bucks are coming off an overtime game. I think that's something to take into consideration as well. They weren't supposed to go to overtime, but one thing about the Bucks is when they get these big spreads, those are the ones they typically don't cover. Home dogs, excuse me, home dogs, of 8 points or more were covering at a really, really high rate. I'm not sure if you guys remember me talking about that earlier this year. I'm not sure what that trend is because I didn't look at it, and this isn't a game that really excites me at all. I think Milwaukee being shorthanded and being on the road, could kind of overlook Chicago. Milwaukee has been on fire lately. They've won a lot of games in a row. And I think what I had in my notes, of course, was Cap with DeRozan being out, which he is, but it was also with Chris Middleton being in. So I don't have a really strong look at all on this game. One thing I wanted to talk about really quickly is I just want to mention the Bucks. So I think they won 11 games in a row, 10 games in a row, 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 as well. Chicago, like I said, only 4-6 against the spread and straight up in their last 10. Two teams, in my estimation, going in the opposite direction. Chicago does this though, right? Like they play up the competition at times, then they play down the competition at times. The Indiana Pacers, before winning that game last night, had lost 4 in a row, five of their last 6 or something like that. So it was only right. I talked about, if I was going to play that game, only being able to take the Pacers as well. And we see the Pacers fight back in that spot. So like I said, really difficult game for me to cap. I worry about the motivation of the Bucks, not only because this is right before the All-Star game, but also I worry about them because they don't typically get up for, these type games. This is a conference games. The Bulls have beaten them twice already this season. Of course, those games had DeMar DeRozan, in them. Drew Holiday's coming off a 40-point game. Chicago's second night of a back-to-back. I just don't like the circumstances for this game. It is a nationally televised game. The Bulls should be motivated, probably a little more motivated than the Bucks. But Giannis has really just been putting the boys on his back and, kind of carrying this offense. Was reading some stuff earlier on the Bucks offense since Chris Middleton returned and how they've really been able to score at an elite level. I think their offense went from bottom 10 to top 10. And we see them scoring a lot of points, which is translated into them being 10-0 in their last 10 games, scoring. They scored one. It was overtime included, but they scored 131 against Boston, 119 against the Clippers, 115 against the Lakers, 127 against Portland, 123 against Miami, 106 against the Clippers, and that was the lowest amount that they've scored. Everything else has been 130 or higher, going back all the way to Denver on January 25th. So this team has been able to kind of light it up, but without Chris Middleton, do they kind of take a step back? We know that the Bulls can play at an extremely slow pace. They're one of the slower pace teams in the league. So I didn't really cap this. Well, I capped the game, but I didn't look at anything as far as like a side perspective. I do feel like 8 is just too many points to lay with the Milwaukee Bucks on the road in a game right before the All-Star break. I think that this is a winnable game for the Bucks. I absolutely do, but I'm not sure if they're gonna win this game by double digits. And 8 points is a little too close for comfort. Should Chicago fade in the second half on the second night of a back-to-back? Probably, but it doesn't mean that they're going to, right? And the other thing is when you lose like that in the fashion that Chicago did yesterday, the first thing I think about if I was the Chicago Bulls is when do we get the chance to play again, right? And you don't want to take that bad feeling along with you into the All-Star break. So being able to play on the second leg of a back-to-back might actually be beneficial. I don't know how they're going to do it offensively without DeMar DeRozan with Milwaukee. Playing great defense. I think the Boston Celtics in the last game, kind of played a perfect game in order to even have that game go to overtime against the Bucks. And Drew Holiday had to go off for 40 points in that game and hit a big 3 in overtime for them to win that game. They didn't even cover against the shorthanded Boston Celtics, but the Chicago Bulls don't have that same, athletic ability. They also don't have that same level of shooting, right? So they would be, this game for Chicago to keep this game close. I think they would have to, rebound the ball really well. I think they'd also have to get out and run in transition. That's something that they don't typically do. And they'd have to play really good defense. So I'm kind of, talking in a circle and just kind of providing insight for you guys. Cause like I said, it's not a game that I was extremely high on. What I have written in my notes is so one thing I have written in my notes is teams that are home dogs coming off a road game where they were also a road dog with no rest in a different site, and their opponent has at least 1 day of rest. Those teams are 7-17 against the spread. So that's a 71% fade of the Chicago Bulls tonight, but it's not anything that I'm taking. I don't take plays just based off one trend alone. But that was a very telling trend. 71% to back the Bucks minus the 7. Of course, it's up to 7. It's up to 8 right now in most books. But like I said, I don't like the Bucks when they're laying more than, five 5 points. I think is about where I want to take the Bucks at. So everything's kind of baked into the line, of course. With the rest disadvantage for the Bucks. They also are the road team, so also don't like laying that many points on the road as well. Even though their opponent is on second night of a back-to-back, but I can't back Chicago in this spot either because they've been god awful recently. So I don't really have a look on the game at all. Just kind of giving you guys my thoughts and my opinions on the game. And I didn't even make a banner for the game. Should probably do that. Bucks versus Bulls. Line is +8 in favor of Chicago. Total is 230. Actually down 230, 229 and a half. The Bucks are, if you guys watch the Bucks, I watched them in the game, in the last game. They're really capable on defense, but the defense is all about effort, right? If you don't want to play with effort, it doesn't matter how good you are on the defensive end. You'll just give it up to whoever, and then you'll find yourself behind and having to play, really good defense and fighting behind towards the end of the game. So, for those reasons, I think I'm not going to touch the total. I can see this game going under. If Milwaukee does struggle to score the ball, but I could also see it going over because Milwaukee kind of comes in here and lets their guard down and don't play extremely hard on the defensive end. So I'm not touching the total on this one. A lot of conflicting trends, looking both ways. But those are my sentiments and my analysis on the actual game. So that's what I got for you guys there. Next game up, let's talk a little bit about the Washington Wizards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is the next game, 8:10 Eastern start time. Excuse me. Line in this one opened at the Timberwolves being 3.5-point favorites. Excuse me. It's down to 3. Total opened at 235.5. It's at 235.5 in some places, at 235 as well. So not a lot of money. I did see it down to 234 in some books as well. Both of these teams have really, kind of picked it up. I think there's a lot of trends that kind of support the over. Also ran into a few trends that support the under as well. I feel like it's difficult to pick from a side perspective because Minnesota's been kind of up and down. If I'm being extremely transparent with you guys, I haven't watched this new Timberwolves team play a lot of basketball since they got Mike Conley and gave up D'Angelo Russell. I did watch him play against the Dallas Mavericks the other day, but I just feel like I like to get a little more information on these teams before I play some of these new teams, right? I want to see them play, see them in action. So I don't really want to force anything. I think if I am looking at something, I'm looking towards the over. You look at the Timberwolves when they're revenging same season losses this season, and they're a home favorite in their spot. They're 5-0 to the over. You also look at the Wizards. This team is 4-1 to the over when they're facing teams that they've beaten already this season on the road. And I think, extremely interesting trend is that the over between both of these teams is 10-0 in the last 10 meetings. So these teams have played against each other 10 times in a row. All 10 games have actually gone over. I think that's a pretty astounding trend. So I didn't bet the over, but I'd be looking towards the over. Minnesota has the potential to really lock up and play defense. I think Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson are both listed as questionable. They do influence the total a lot. If Rudy Gobert is not in there, I definitely think this game goes over. If Rudy Gobert is a part of it, I think, it probably could go under. Washington on the other side, this team's been playing pretty well. They lost to the Golden State Warriors a couple nights ago in Golden State, and then they bounced back and beat the brakes out of Portland, only giving up like 106 points after Portland had just went off against the Lakers the game before. We always talk about regression to the mean. Portland hit, pretty much like 3,000 three-pointers against the Lakers and then barely got to 100 points against the Washington Wizards, even though they were at home in their own gym. So Wizards a team I'm not really wanting to bet against. I do think the revenge factor, is in play in this game. I do remember the first time that these two teams played, Washington was in a really, really bad spot, traveling all over the place at that time, and they got smacked up. I remember the first, it was a lot of points being scored, but the Timberwolves, kind of ran out of gas, and Washington beat the brakes off of them in Washington. Minnesota wasn't in good form. I think that was when they still had Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert trying to figure that whole thing out with the lineup. So I don't have a too strong of a feel on this game. Don't if I'm playing anything, it's probably the over. Also, if I'm playing a side, I think I am playing the Timberwolves just because they have done well at revenging same season losses. They've also just kind of been going back and forth, teetering between winning and losing. You go through and look at it. They win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna just, and then like I said, the inability for me to be able to cap this game and find a lot of data because there are new guys on the team, makes me not want to play a side. But if I had to play it, I would be looking towards Minnesota. I think the home teams cover today. I think the road teams may have a little less motivation. Typically, you want to get a win for your crowd when you are at home. Road teams really just want to get to the All-Star break, man, which is why I kind of lean Minnesota in this spot. I think that they could win. I think they also should be able to cover this 3-point number. And then the last game on the board today, man, I feel like I got the strongest look on this game specifically. And this game is the Clippers in the Phoenix Suns. So you get the Los Angeles Clippers coming into Phoenix, short trip, not just a conference game, but also a divisional game. Clippers coming off a big win. They call Golden State slipping on the second leg of a back-to-back. Clay first back-to-back, I think maybe for the whole season, and dropped a boom on them. Scored 134 points in that game. And then you get Phoenix coming off a pretty big win against the Sacramento Kings the other night as well. This team is looking good right now. Also, both of these teams, just similarly to how I was talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, both of these teams, in my estimation, are also teams that we don't have a large data sample to collect, right? Like the Clippers will be, they'll have PG and Kawhi in this game. They traded Reggie Jackson. You bring in Mason Plumlee, who's going to be active for this game. You also got Bones Highland, who's going to come in and be active for this game. One of his first games playing with the Clippers, with his new team since getting traded from Denver. You also going to be without Norman Powell, so somebody else going to have to step up. I like Marcus Morris in this spot. I think he should step up. I also feel like the Phoenix Suns are in that same boat, right? The Phoenix Suns are without Mikal Bridges, without Cam Johnson in the spot. Those were two of their, better defense. Well, Cam Johnson, not the greatest defender, but Mikal Bridges, one of the greatest defenders, right? So now you got to figure out how you can contain Kawhi Leonard. I don't really factor in PG. You look at PG game log against the Suns, and he typically just doesn't play well. He doesn't have the greatest games. I'm not sure who they're going to put on him. I know Josh Okogie is going to try to guard one of these guys. He's going to be out there for his defense. But I think the same thing about Phoenix, man. But for that reason, right? So this is the way. This is when I'm going through the game and I'm looking at all the stats. I'm looking at all the trends. The one thing that I can't cap, right? The one thing that I can't take into consideration because I don't have all the numbers on is how I think the end of the game goes. In my estimation, I feel like the Clippers are going to have a lineup out there that they haven't had out there before to finish a game, especially when you don't got Norman Powell. Luke Kennard is also now gone, right? You got Zubac, but you also got Plumlee. Does Plumlee stay in the backup role? If he's playing better than Zubac, do you put him in? For those reasons specifically, I lean towards the Phoenix Suns, right? Because I feel like if the game's close at the end, at least Phoenix has more of a core. Even though they do have new guys, they still waiting for KD, who won't be active for this game. Landry Shamet is still out of course. But I just feel like Phoenix having the home court advantage in this spot means more than the Clippers not having a lineup at the end of the game that's going to be able to, necessarily seal it. I think with it being a 1-point spread, and it opening as the Clippers being 1-point favorites, I think that's telling. I think I like Phoenix in this game today. I did play Phoenix minus the 1. And I also played, I'll get to my other play in a quick second, but I did play Phoenix minus the 1. I just feel like Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton should be able to get the job done if I'm having to compare rosters with just PG and Kawhi on the opposite end, and them having home court advantage, right? I know the Clippers probably need to win a little bit more. Both of these teams are 3-4 in the Western Conference. Couple trends that I had to based on, in conjunction with everything else I just kind of talked about. The Suns, you look at this team, they are 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread as a home favorite in conference games this season. I talked about this not just being a conference game, but also being a divisional game. These teams are in the same conference, in the Western Conference, and the same division as well. So 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread as a home favorite in conference games. The Clippers just 1-3 against the spread in their first road game after a 3-game homestand, because they have been at home for quite a few games. So they typically don't travel that well going from home to road. Also, just league-wide trends. I think this one is pretty interesting. Shout out to my guy, Ronald Cobain, because we talked about this yesterday on the show when we were capping the Cavaliers game against the Philadelphia 76ers. We were saying that if you get two teams that are good teams, right, 50% win percentage or better, two teams that have a winning record, we know there's a lot of parity. A lot of teams don't have a winning record. If they do have a winning record, it's only about, a game or two over 500, right? So when you get two teams that have a good record above 50%, the home favorite with the winning record versus an opponent that also has a winning record are 64-24 this season. That's 73% that says just take the money line for the Phoenix Suns tonight. I think the money line is like a minus 118. Also, just looking a little bit deeper, I looked a little bit deeper into that, try to find some other parameters that maybe back the spot as well. That was 73% though. Home favorites with a winning record coming off a previous home win, which the Phoenix Suns are in this spot because they beat the Sacramento Kings, playing against an opponent that has a winning record, and their opponent is coming off a previous win as well. Those teams are 29-7, 80.6% on the season if you just take the money line for the San Antonio for the Phoenix Suns tonight. So though all those things taken in conjunction, I did play the Phoenix Suns -1 today. Like I said, it is kind of a pick'em type game. If the Clippers win this game, it wouldn't really surprise me too much. But I think it's a smaller play for me. But I am playing. I did put a little something on the Phoenix Suns, just them being a home team, having more continuity, even though they are without their guys. I like the Clippers in this spot. I also lean towards the under in this game. It opened at 224. It's down to 221. Don't really like the under as much now, but the Clippers are 2-0 to the under as away dogs in conference games with both PG and Kawhi in this season. And you take away Norman Powell, who provides a lot of offense for the Clippers. I think they, struggle with some continuity issues today. I think they struggle with some chemistry issues, especially late down towards the end of this game. So I like Phoenix today, man. I played a -1. On the opposite side, I do think you got to look towards Marcus Morris without Norman Powell being there. I also think you got to look towards Kawhi Leonard. His points prop last night opened at 23.5. I think it was like -120. And I played it. I played it small because I typically don't play a lot of things the night before, but I kind of felt like the line was going to go up to 24.5. You look at Kawhi. I think I looked at Kawhi in his last 8 games, and I also looked at Kawhi in his last 8 road games. I think it was. I don't even think I wrote this down, but he's something like 7 for 8 over the 23.5 points. Kawhi's been absolutely balling. I think that they have to lean on him just a tad bit more because PG typically doesn't show up when they play against the Phoenix Suns. Just a quick, StatMuse, search Paul George versus Suns. He typically doesn't play well in this spot. So I think they lean on Kawhi. I also think subtracting Norman Powell equals more opportunity for a guy like Marcus Morris, but it also, means more for, a guy like Kawhi Leonard as well. So small play for me, Kawhi over 23.5 points. Small play for me, Phoenix Suns -1. I think you can play the money line as well. The only difference for people who don't know is that if Phoenix win by 1, you get a push. You don't win. You get your money back. If you play the money line and they win by 1, you actually win, of course. So that's the only difference for people who are like, what's the difference between the -1 and the money line? That's the difference. So you got some push potential versus, actually winning. So I played the -1 though. Couldn't talk anybody off the money line. Maybe you like the Clippers. You play the Clippers today as well. They could win. Point spread kind of indicative of, this game kind of being a coin flip, right? So that's what I got, man. Bucks and Bulls, nothing. I don't like the game, don't like the spread, don't like the total. No sides for me. Didn't look at player props. The Wizards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, I lean Timberwolves. I think that they should win that game. The Washington Wizards has been on fire lately. So I don't really want to fade them with when they have all their guys in. They do have Bradley Beal. Porzingis is there. Kyle Kuzma's there. Daniel Gafford's there. Monte Morris is there. They're playing pretty good defense as well. I think my lean would, like I said, be towards the over. I think both of those teams can fill it up today and score the ball, especially if Rudy Gobert gets ruled out, which I think he's still he's still questionable along with Kyle Anderson. And then this last game, man, Phoenix and the Clippers. I do like Phoenix. I played him -1. I also played Kawhi over his 23.5 points. So that's what I got for you guys today, man. 25 minutes in the books. I ask that you guys, if you enjoy the content, especially if you're coming back every single day, let me get a like real quick. Shoot your boy a like on Twitter, like the tweet, like the YouTube page as well. Helps the channel grow, helps support me as well. I appreciate everybody for always doing that and for showing love as well, man. So that's what I got for you guys. Let me check the YouTube comment section as people send their requests, so I can get up some other people, maybe, kind of look at other, hear what everybody else got to say as well. Maybe people are looking at the games a tad bit different than I am. Andrew said, Josh Okogie, 15 points, single betted and sprinkle, really feel good about it. Josh is a Phoenix guy, so he would know his team. I said, Chris, I need the bag tonight. Let's get it. I'm not going heavy to get the bag tonight. Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I've been on a nice little roll. I don't know if people have been tracking my plays, but things been going good, man. I don't have any complaints, and I'm trying to keep it going. Not wanting to overindulge on a night that, typically it can mean nothing, for these teams. Euphoria said he's on Holiday over 6.5 assists. Corday said, I want to take the Bulls +8 so bad, but Chicago is so gross. They are really gross. I can't bet the Bulls right now. What about full game under 229 and Bucks team total under 218? And the Bucks team total can't be 218. I think you meant 118. I don't know, Lee. I didn't look into it. I didn't cap even team totals. I don't like giving you guys a lot of information when I haven't capped it. I don't like just, going off top of my head. Sometimes off top of my head can work and be profitable, but I do like to dive into these games and look into these plays a little bit deeper, way more than a surface level, just to kind of give you guys my opinions. What does PK mean again? PK means pick, Andrew. It means pick 'em. Like whatever side you take. It's kind of like a money line bet. What up, Fremons? Who's that penalty kick? Why is the line -1 then? Seems too easy taking the Clippers here. I don't like the Clippers. I'm not taking the Clippers, Amar. Paul George torches us. If you go back and look, Andrew, he does not torch you guys. Go back and look. No, not a great field goal percentage. Not a lot of points scored. Big fade public side here. Feed me the LA Clippers money line. Okay, me and Euphoria on the opposite side. Maybe that cashes tonight. Phoenix is +1. I see Phoenix as a -1, Andrew. I'm not sure what you're looking at right now. -1 on every book right now. I see Phoenix at. Not sure which book you're looking at. I'm on the Suns, Chris. Okay, let's cash the Suns, man. I like the Suns tonight. I do like the Suns tonight. The Suns are taking over the division. Today is a big win. Okay, I like it. Off Suns versus Clips, too close. I couldn't talk anybody off just watching the game, Frank. I'm gonna put a little something, like I said, on the Suns. Being the home team, typically home teams win these games when it's a close spread. One of the ways I kind of cap the game. The Clippers are public, Amar says. So let's see. Yeah, I see 73% of the tickets on the Clippers today. Yeah, I like being on the other side, but I don't use that to cap the games. I cap the games, then look at that, and then don't even pay attention to it. You got to be very selective in what you take in while you capping the games, because everything has an influence on you placing your bets. I don't try to fade the public. I don't try to follow the public. I cap the games, and whatever I like is what I take. I don't care if the money's going against me, if it's going with me. I just take whatever it is that I like. I use it for information purposes just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I don't let the market dictate what I'm gonna play. I'm on the Suns -1.5. Raven Ron says Clippers not getting revenge tonight though. I think they could, Fremont. I just don't think that they're going. I just don't think I need Norman Powell if I'm taking the Clippers, because I'm not sure if they're gonna be integrated enough to actually execute for the full game with Devin Booker being back and in his bag, right? So I lean the home team. If the Clippers were at home, I'll probably take the Clippers, especially if they had Norman Powell. But I'm not fading the Phoenix Suns at home with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. I think that the others will step up. You know, Shaq always talk about the others on TNT. Role players typically play better at home, right? Clippers also coming off a game where they scored 134 points. I'm not pretty sure. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to back that sets up with success. And then what else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Too many stars on them clips. Those props are dangerous. D-Book 60 clip loading. I don't know about that, DJ. Maybe. FanDuel is +1. Okay. I didn't see FanDuel being at +1, Andrew. I also ain't betting on FanDuel. Not for this game. Timberwolves and Suns money line today. Keep it simple. Best of luck, Raptors fan. I think those spreads are really, really close. Maybe. I hope you cash it if you play it. I really like the Suns today as well. It's KD's introduction ceremony too. I saw that they were putting up, the big banisters outside, whatever those big banner type things. The new one. They took the old one down. Got CP3 and D-Book and all the guys in the below them. So yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. I don't use any of those things to kind of cap the games though. So that's what I got for you guys. Joshua Kogi points been cooking. Okay, maybe jump on Josh. He definitely gonna be out there for his defense, so he gonna have all the opportunity in the world. Now I'm gonna bring up some other guys to see what everybody else is looking at. My guy LJ from H-Town is in the building. LJ, what's going on, my brother? Drop us off some plays that you are liking today, man. What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, LJ. What's going on, bro?
Man, I just wanted to shoot off some plays today before this All-Star break.
What you got for us?
Keeping it light, because we got to tread lightly.
Absolutely.
People, probably on vacation right now, mindset. And speaking of that, this Wizards and Minnesota game, I'm really leaning towards the Wizards to cover because Anthony Edwards is going to the All-Star game. So, he may be already trying to make plans, get flight information for the fam. You see what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Not be in tune to the game. And the Wizards are 7-3 in their last 10 road games versus the West. And nobody's going to the All-Star festivities for the Wizards, I believe.
That's a fact.
They're coming and trying to win the game. So I'm going to probably get to the window on the Wizards. It's a strong lean, but I just want to throw that 7-3 last 10 road versus the West is pretty. I can't ignore that. So.
Right.
And for the Suns and the Clippers, I didn't have to know Milwaukee in the Bucks. I feel just like it's a throwaway game in my opinion. It really doesn't matter. The Bucks don't have to win that game. And Giannis came almost short the other night. Luckily for Hauser, hit the three to fit in overtime so we could cash Giannis' PRA. Because he was, he wasn't performing as well the last game, especially at the free throw line, missing free throws, things like that. So I'm gonna stay off the Bucks and the Bulls tonight. Just wait for the second half. Clippers and Suns, man, this is gonna be a very good game, Chris, because the Clippers coming in here to win this game as well. And it's funny you mentioned Marcus Morris, man, because I'm taking his prop tonight over 14.5 points and rebounds. He's averaging 18 points and 6 rebounds. The 2 games he's already played the Suns this year, and he's averaging 21.5 the last 3 road games versus the Suns. And I pay attention to players that used to play with different teams. He gets up for the Suns for some reason, bro. I don't know if they didn't want to sign him or something like that, but he takes it personal. So I believe he's going to try to make an impact in this game as well. 14.5 points and rebounds, I think that's pretty low for him, considering the vendetta he has versus his team. So before I decide, I'm gonna take 2. I'm going to take the first half under because the Suns are 20-9 in the first half under at home, and the Suns are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games first half. So I'm going to take the first half. I'm going to take the under, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers win this game at the end because in the second half, Chris, the Clippers are 23-10 straight up in their last 33 games in the second half. So they could come back and win the game, even if the Suns are rough. But the third quarter is where I'm going to probably sprinkle on the Clippers because
if they lose in that halftime, LJ?
What's that?
I said you gonna sprinkle on the Clippers or in the third quarter if they lose in that halftime to cover the spread, whatever it is for the second half?
No, I'm going to bet the third quarter before the game.
Oh, got you. Okay.
In the second half because they're 5-1 0-4-1 in their last 5 in the third quarter. They don't seem to come out that second half, that third quarter. So I'm going to jump on the Clippers right there, but I'm taking the Suns in the first half because the Clippers are 5-12 ATS in the first half of their last 17 games. So that's my look. I took the under, like I said, first half, and I may get on Booker too, the 24.5 points, might as well, because he's hit it 7 out of his last 8 home games versus the West. So I may sprinkle that as well too. But as far as my big money, I'm gonna take the Suns first half. The Suns are 13-4 at home versus the West, and they're 9-0 versus this division. They haven't lost a game versus this division. So I'm looking for the Clippers to come and win this game. It's gonna be close, but they may pull it out. I'm gonna be surprised.
Okay, so LJ, you say you taking Phoenix first half, and you taking the under for the first half as well.
Yes.
Okay, what you get the under at, LJ? The total is what, 221? So it's what, 120? 108.5. Okay, 108.5. Okay, under 108.5.
It seems low, but the Suns, first half under at home, that's the best in the league, 20-9. So they play defense, and I think they'll keep it close in the first half because the Clippers, they don't come out in the first half. The second half is where they money at.
Right. Right. No. I like it, LJ. I like the contrarian. Nobody gonna take a under that's under, first half under 108. I mean, but if it's cashing, who cares, right? No, I like it, LJ. Yeah. Like it, and I know you. Whatever you give out, LJ, you done did your homework on anyway, bro. So you don't gotta explain it to me.
And I gotta speak you in this weekend, man. My boy Kenyon Martin Jr. representing the Rockets in the dunk contest, bro. Chris, when I tell you this guy can leap, oh my God, bro. He can jump out the building.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. To win this dunk contest, bro. It's just all about his creativity, what he's going to do. That's what it's about. Because it ain't nothing about him getting up. It's about the creativity. So let's see what he brings out. But I'm betting on my man, Kenyon Martin Jr. dunk contest this weekend.
I like it, LJ. I'm glad you threw that in too, man. Because if y'all got props for All-Star Weekend, I'm not doing a show again until next week sometime. I can't wait to get this other vacation. but yeah, if y'all got props for the All-Star game, man, let me know. I don't even think he that sneaky, LJ. I think he probably my favorite too, man. It runs in the genes, right? The same way Dell could shoot and Steph take it to the next level. The same way Tim Hardaway could, shoot. Tim Hardaway Jr. then took it to the next level. And Kenyon Martin was dunking on people for a long time in the league, man. I remember him being on the Nets and, giving my boys a run, giving my Lakers a run. Long time ago with Kenyon Martin and Kerry Kittle, Jason Kidd, Nick Van Exel with the Sox. I remember all that. So Keith Van Horn, all them guys. So, watching his pops do it, I know the dude can fly, LJ. So I don't even think he that sneaky, bro. I got to check the odds because I haven't even looked into the All-Star festivities too much, but he is my favorite just based on looks, and hopefully he make the dunks. That's what it comes down to, how creative you can be and if you can actually make them.
Yeah, for sure. But let's cash, man.
Absolutely, LJ. Enjoy your time off, man. I hope you get a chance to reset and recharge. Hope you cash tonight, and I appreciate you sharing the looks with myself and everybody else that's a part of the show, bro. Casper, coming to you. What's going on, my guy? How you doing, man?
Just give you a shout out. You're doing a good job too. I'm up over $1,600 since FanDuel allowed us to start betting in Ohio. Now I'm not advertising myself. I don't have a site or anything, but I do the NBA, I do the hockey, and the NCAA basketball, and I have a lot of picks tonight. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of money you can make on hockey.
Hey, drop them off, Casper. People want them. I don't know nothing about hockey. What you got for me, man?
Me either. But guess what? It's turning. It does turn. I do that. But, if I could jump into spaces and offer anything to you guys, I can. But, the NBA, I'm kind of staying on. I think the NBA is kind of, like you guys said tonight, it's kind of hard because our guys checking out right now and, getting ready they got their Caribbean plans for the next 5 days off or whatever.
That's a fact, Casper. It's hard to tell, man. It's definitely hard to tell.
Yep. But I like the Florida Panthers on the money line tonight against the Capitals. Ovechkin's gone. His dad died. Florida's been playing well. Let's see here. Give you Temple NCAA basketball on the first half against Wichita State. I also like them on the money line.
Full game money line, Casper?
Houston against SMU. Houston against SMU. NCAA.
Money line? Money line or spread?
You're breaking up.
Money line or the spread, Casper?
Which one?
For Houston.
For Houston, well, I did the over 37.5 for the first half. We all know Houston is just unreal. Okay, and SMU, obviously, it's at SMU, but it's bad. And then Houston's given 15.5. And I want you guys to know, I go 15, 30, $40. I'm not betting hundreds. Okay, but I made my bankroll over $1,600 in since January 1 when you could sign up for FanDuel and Ohio became legal. But Houston, you want to take a look at that. You can get them minus 15.5, minus 118. Let's see what else I got that I think you guys would like. Let's see here. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys do this, but it's been real successful for me. I'll give you an example of the 3-leg parlay for NCAA basketball that I'm playing tonight. Okay? Listen to what happens here. Okay, so you go Memphis money line, okay, minus 300. Okay, they're going to win. St. Mary's money line, minus 1,400. Iowa to whoop Ohio State's ass, money line, minus 310. Okay? And when you put up $50 on that, you can get 94.47 as a payout. Now I'll take that all day long because Memphis is at home. They're good. St. Mary's is a bitch. They are really good. And Iowa is going to kick the Buckeyes' ass. And I don't even do points. I do the money line. You see how that works?
Yeah, little three-team money line parlay with Memphis, St. Mary, and Iowa tonight.
Yeah, just the money lines. And what you do, people look at it and say, shit, Memphis is minus 300. St. Mary's is minus 1,400. Iowa's minus 310. But, dude, those three are going to win. You put $50 up, you damn near win another $50. That's how I've been playing.
Hey,
it really is how I've been playing.
You find something if you find something that works, Casper, you nail it every single time, man. Keep making your money, my guy.
I'll give you another 3-leg parlay.
Yeah, give me one more real quick.
Iowa, real quick. You take Iowa minus 1.5 points against Ohio State. You take Arizona money line. You take UCLA money line. When you do a 3-leg parlay on that, you get it at minus 157. You put up $50, you get 81.93. That's been what's working for me. When you take these people want to stay away from those high money lines. But when you pair them with a 2-leg or a 3-leg, it buys you down considerably. And it takes an upset to screw you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Do you think Iowa at home is going to lose to fucking Ohio State? No. Arizona? No. UCLA is going to kill Stanford. Okay? I don't want to look at the points. I go money line. I leg them up. And that's where you leg them up. And, and nickel and dime. I'm nickel and dime. I'm not putting $100 up to get 400. Okay? I'm getting the crumbs. I'm getting the cookie crumbs. And those cookie crumbs add up.
I like it, Casper. I like it.
I enjoy your space, guys.
Hey, I appreciate you, Casper, for coming in here and bringing something different, man. The floor is always yours whenever you got a chance. Best of luck tonight, Casper, on all these plays, man. I hope you cash all of them.
Dude, it's working, buddy.
Absolutely. If it worked, you keep going back to it, Casper. Best of luck to my guy, Casper. And shout out to Casper, man. He was the only person in the whole wide world last year that said, LeBron was going to break the record the night that he did, because everybody else thought he was gonna break it against the Bucks, and he went for it. So shout out to my guy Casper, man. I appreciate that. I needed all the laughs. Appreciate all the comments as well in the YouTube section. Hey Casper, if you still listening in, my guy Scotty said Casper for president. Let's go ahead and get my man nominated. Let's get the show back on the road though. Let me kick it to my guy Canadian Cam real quick, and Bookie, I'm coming to you next. What up, Cam? How you doing tonight, my brother?
What's good, man? It's been a minute.
Absolutely.
Breaks. I was out of the country. Well, I was out of the country, so I can't gamble outside of the country. Came back refreshed. Let's get into it. So my first play is actually the same game. Probably I don't really love parlays, but I like this one a lot. It's just 8 and 10 boards. Paul George 20 points at plus 126. Dayton's been hitting this number pretty consistently. The Clippers allow this number very consistently against big. Zubac he's a good big, but he allows a lot of rebounds. It's an interesting thing to see. And Paul George averages like 21 points against the Suns, and he's been putting up 20 points. And this isn't like crazy. Their lines are set at 11.5 and 21.5. So I'm just avoiding the hooks with this. If you feel like they're going to hit their lines, you can play them single. But for me, I just want to avoid the hooks. Because those have been hitting. I've been hooked a few times recently. And then I got a first quarter play. What Casper said is true. I've been kind of cognizant of the fact that guys might wind down. And actually, they hit on 4 first quarters yesterday with Stars. Just they're going to come out and play hard, and I feel like it's been consistent. So I'm with Giannis over 8.5 and minus 106. I think that's a fairly low number for. He's going to take a lot of shots in the first quarter. He typically does well in the first quarter as well. So those are my two plays for the night. That's it for me.
Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure I got that. You said 8 and 10 rebounds with PG 20 points is one parlay, right? 2-leg parlay.
Yeah.
And the second one was what?
Plus 126.
Plus 126. Okay.
Yeah. And then Giannis first quarter over 8.5.
Oh, Giannis first quarter over 8.5. Okay, got you.
Yeah, just Giannis first quarter over 8.5 is minus 106. My two leans right now are, and I got to check back on Rudy Gobert's availability is KP and Beal. I like both of their overs on points. I might just play KP before Rudy gets officially ruled out if he doesn't play because he's been on that. He has that groin injury. He's played through it the last 2 games, and he played well. So it's kind of like, do you take the chance, get it well? KP's number will move for sure if he's out, but do you take it now and hope for the best? So I don't know. I'm leaning on that. I'll decide a bit, maybe post it. But the 2 officials are the ones I gave it.
Got you. I hope you cash them, Ken. Hope you cash them, man. Appreciate you sharing them as well. I know you did your research and got your analysis around them, man. I appreciate you sharing it. Let me kick it to Bookie and then Frag and then Ben. What's up, Bookie?
Yo, what's up, Chris? So for tonight, I'm not going heavy, but I do got some degenerate shit for the All-Star weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
What you got, Bookie? Share it with the people, man.
I'll let you know, but I got the Suns with you. I like that. I don't think Kyle Anderson plays tonight, to be honest. But if he does, in his last 5 games, he's missed 2 of them. He's left 2 of them early with that back spasm. And one of them, he played 24 minutes. The 2 he missed were the left early was 17 and 13 minutes, I think. So if he gets ruled in, I definitely just look maybe taking his PRA under, just because they're not going to hesitate the game for All-Star Weekend. If it even, I'm sure if the coach even sees him walking funny, holding his back at all, he's going to tell him to sit down. So that's something I might be looking at if he gets ruled in, but I don't think he will. But for the All-Star game, I got Mac McClung earlier at plus 350 because I have him on. I followed him on Snapchat, and bro, he will just post the craziest stuff. It'll be 2 a.m. He'll be in the gym doing crazy dunks, doing the arm in the rim, crazy stuff. And he actually had an interview that I think it boosted him to the favorite actually, where he was saying he was going to go out there and just try his hardest to win it. And so I still like him, honestly. I think it's plus 150. Something fun to play for the weekend. The 3-point contest, in the past, we've seen success from guys who have kind of set shots and don't elevate a ton of their jump shots. A good example was Karl Anthony Towns a couple years ago. Julius Randle, he's plus 900 right now, and he's very hot from 3 right now. So I like him, maybe riding him into the weekend. Very good odds. He's going to not elevate a ton of his shot. A couple guys I don't like is Jason Tatum. gets quite a bit of elevation, but he also jumps very forward on his shot, and you're going to have to keep jumping back to the ball rack, so I don't really like him. I don't love Tyrese Halliburton. He's a really good pull-up jump shooter. More than 50% of his three-pointers this season, I think, are pull-up jump shots, which is just crazy. So I don't like him shooting a ton of set shots. I love Lauri Markkanen, too. Doesn't elevate a ton of shot. So, yeah, that's really what I'm rocking with for the All-Star Weekend, though.
Okay, some solid looks there from my guy Bookie. I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. I haven't even capped, like I said, any kind of all-star festivities at all, man. I'm probably just gonna watch it, probably not bet anything. Things like that, make me fall back into being a degenerate. I try my hardest not to, so not just out here, playing things, even for quarter units, sprinkles, none of that. No, that's a fact. That's a fact, Bookie. I'm also not deterring people, right? Like, if people want to come in here and give, 2-leg parlays or, little things that, whatever you can find an edge on, right? It don't matter. Like, it don't matter what my opinion is. And just because I don't do it don't mean that it's not profitable. Everybody caps the games different ways. I think that's important to mention as well. But so just because I don't do it doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that I'm not going to do it. That's all. I don't want to fall back into it. But appreciate you, Bookie. Hope you cash the not just the looks, all the looks, the All-Star break looks as well. Let me kick it to who did I say next? I think I said Frag next, then Ben, and then I'm coming to you, Black. What up, Frag?
Yo, Chris, how's it going, bro?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I can't call it, man. How's the trip? Everything was good?
Man, it was amazing, dude. I don't know if you watched the YouTube show, but I got a nice little tan. Got skin peeling off my face from being sunburned, bro. But it was good, man. I'm glowing over here, Frag. No complaints, my brother. Feel good to be back, though,
Yeah, facts, man. That's what's up. I'm glad you had a good time out there, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Of course. So I got 3 plays today. First one, I'm coming in. It's gonna be kind of the sneaky one. It's gonna be Io, man. Io, 11.5 points, man. With just the Bulls missing, they're missing everybody. They don't got Caruso, no Devontae Green, no Caruso. I said Caruso. Caleb Jones is out. Goran Dragic is out. And, it's all hands on deck for them, man. And DeRozan is out. That's like, 20, 25 shots a game. The shots got to go somewhere. So, honestly, if Io can't give me 12 points today, I don't really know what to say with the circumstances as far as the team. Just, there's nobody there. It's just him, Levine, and Vucevic, And, Vuce, he'd be kind of scary when he'd be playing against Milwaukee sometimes. So I think if Bulls have any chance of covering or winning, I think the Super Bowl at least has to give him 15 minimum. He could get 20 today too. The way I was watching him last game, he had a pretty good game last game against the Pacers. Unfortunately, the Bulls are just not very good, so that doesn't help. But he played 40 minutes last game. I don't know if he's gonna play 40 again. But last game before All-Star break, he's young. They need a win. And I can see them. I can see him playing upwards to 40. Next play is going to be KP. I'm going KP 23.5 points, man. I just like KP a lot, especially when Kuzma and Beal are in. Beal is not the same guy as far as just kind of chucking up a lot of shots. He's just kind of been passive. He's been finding his spots. He realizes KP can get a shot at any moment against any player, pretty much. I think it's a really good spot. Usually Gobert kind of gets cooked by players like this as far as like a skilled big who's going to pull him out of the paint. And if not, they're going to probably put McDaniel's cat on him. Or no, he got traded, right?
McDaniel's?
Yeah, the Timberwolves cat, right? Or that was a different.
That was his brother, yeah.
Yeah, his brother from Charlotte got traded. Well, the other McDaniel's from Charlotte got traded. He's still there.
Yeah, they can put him on him, but that's just going to be a size mismatch as well, I think, as far as that. So I think KP and the Wizards, surprisingly, on the road, they've been kind of playing different. The Nets put a spanking on the Blazers a couple days ago. They hung in with the Warriors a couple days ago as well. KP was giving buckets to Draymond. I don't know if he was watching. He was all in Draymond shit.
Second time he done did that, Fred. He did it in DC a couple weeks ago too, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yeah, Draymond was doing a lot of yapping, but he
Right.
So I like KP. I think he's kind of when KP gets it going, I feel like they're a different team. So, I mean, you just can't really guard him. So. And then the last one is going to be a mixture. It's going to be a little DK special joint. It's a head-to-head, but I'm combined. It's going to be KP and Anthony Edwards. It's going to be combined for 54 and a half points. I just like Ant in this spot too, but I think KP and Ant will kind of show out. It could be a 30-30 type game for them. Wizards got nobody to guard Ant. I mean, I know Wizards been playing good basketball, but that defense is still Swiss cheese. They should change with that defense. So I think Ant get it what he wants. I think Ant get a 30 piece right before All-Star break. You know, he got snubbed. They said, he was doing an interview like, oh yeah, I don't really care, but Ant really the guy to he gonna show you. He's not gonna talk. That's why I like Ant. He gonna show you. So I think Ant get 30 tonight, and then I just need KP to get 25. So for that cash. Those are my 3 plays.
What was the last one, Fred? What you combining? Is it Ant 30 and KP 25?
Well, nah, it's on DK. I only do this on DraftKings.
Oh, you said combined for 50, didn't you?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Like a head-to-head tab. It's a head-to-head tab.
Got you.
For instance, like I'm gonna just spit it to you. You could take KP plus 5.5 versus Anthony Edwards on the point. So he'll be ahead by he'll be ahead. He'll start the game winning by 5.5 points. Money line on KP to outscore him at plus 310. But I said fuck it, I'm gonna just combine them. So I need 53.5 points from KP and Ant at minus 110. Shit, I think Ant get 30. Shit, I got Porzingis already at 23.5, so I might as well just double dip before the break. You feel me?
Yeah, man. I hope you cash it too. I can see it too. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Like I said, I do lean towards the over. I didn't play it, but I can see points being scored in this one for sure, Fred.
Yeah, I can see Ant just running up and down the court and everything, honestly.
Yeah, no playoff intensity in this one at all. And it's a non-conference game. Both of these teams probably, when you just trying to get to the All-Star break, you want to score, right? You just try to score. You're not trying to play defense the game before, right? The game before All-Star break. So I like it, Fred. I like it, man. You talking about points and these teams scoring points tonight. So these players scoring points tonight for their respective teams. So I can see it, bro. I appreciate the looks. Best of luck to you, Fred. I hope you cash it, my brother.
I got one more thing to say real quick.
Yeah, what you got?
My bad. What's it called? If you're going to be betting against the Lakers as far as finding a player prop, try to tread carefully against guys lining up against Jared Vanderbilt. The shit I saw yesterday against him versus BI. I know BI hit his point prop, but he had BI in torture chamber. Anytime he was on the floor, man, that shit was looking sketchy. The only time BI scored when Vanderbilt was not on it. This guy Vanderbilt is the real deal Holyfield on defense. So just be wary if you're targeting people that are getting guarded against him. Only downside is they're not playing him that much, but I think after the break he's gonna get ramped up. That starting 5 that they had out there is something serious. So just be cautious of that.
Yeah, that's some pretty good insight, Fred. Three men, 4 men. He could definitely guard that position really, really well. It was a desperation win for the Lakers last night too, man. Braun first came back, getting smacked up by the Portland Trailblazers, like my guys did a couple nights ago when Damian Lillard couldn't miss and had 30 at halftime. So, yeah, I like it, Fred. I think that's good insight for sure. Let me kick it to Ben real quick, and then Black, I'm coming to you, and Godspeed, I'm getting you up as well, bro. What's up, Ben?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain other than, Randall not getting a bucket in the fourth quarter last night.
He didn't need to, Ben. They was beating the crap out of them boys last night.
I know. I got screwed. We got that 26.5. He had 25 for 3. But you know what? I guess that's why you tread lightly in the All-Star game before the All-Star game.
That's a fact, man.
We still came away profitable, but that would have been a nice bump right there. But keeping it late tonight. I got 3 plays. I think Frag did a good job breaking down Anthony Edwards. I won't speak on him, but I'm just on his point screen. I got DeAndre over 20.5. I like 8 tonight because I don't really like Zubac. I think a little bit more skilled than people give credit for, but he's definitely not a very good athlete, and he definitely struggles with guys who are athletic. The Suns are having to make up some ground, and I think the team knows it. So I think we're going to see a pretty representative effort from them tonight. I think the line shows it too, with how the line was priced for that game. If you look at the other players on the Suns team who can score, right, specifically Booker, he's going to be getting checked by probably Terrence Mann or PG the whole night. So, you then take a look at who's going to be guarded 8, and some combination of, Zubac, barbecue chicken, Plumlee, and Batum, right, the whole game. I like that position. That's the one I want to invest in. And then the other thing, too, is I think Ayton knows that KD's usage is going to eat into a lot of his production. So I really think Ayton's going to try to get his early and often before KD comes back into the fold there. Because I think that's the guy whose production goes down when KD comes back. But I think Ayton knows it, too. And I got one other play, kind of like a little hybrid first quarter parlay, money line parlay type deal. Giannis 7 first quarter points, Drew Holiday 1 first quarter assists, and Bucks to win. I think the Bucks get this one out, get started hot early, especially given how they played in the last game. Like other people said, we don't maybe investing in full game lines for teams that don't care ain't a great idea, but taking players you like, taking them early, is probably a better route for at least for today.
I can see it, man. I think that's safe. I definitely don't like combining anything together, but if I'm going to, I think that's solid, man. I think that's definitely solid, especially with a Chicago team on the second leg of a back-to-back that's already beat you twice. Like I'm not sure how the Bucks have lost to, this team twice already, but they have lost, and without DeRozan, they kind of limping into the All-Star break, second leg of a back-to-back. Chicago really probably just can't wait to get this game over with. It's going to be interesting to see if they come out here and play with any heart. So, not having Chris Middleton in does, hurt just a tad bit. But if the Bucks are focused and locked in this one, this game could be a runaway for sure. So,
we got one. No DeRozan, no Caruso, no Derrick Jones Jr. Right?
Yeah.
I come off that horrible loss to the Celtics. I don't see how they bring it. I think they bring it early.
Well, no, they won that game, man. They did win that game.
Well, sorry, not loss. Horrible performance.
Right. No, definitely. Yeah, no. Definitely a horrible performance. That's the thing, though, man. That's what I was saying. I think, with the Bucks, they don't necessarily care about covering spreads. They just care about winning games. So, should that game have went to overtime? I think if you ask anybody in their locker room, they say absolutely not. But they, great teams have that ability to kind of turn it on and turn it off when they need to. And I think, it can bite you in the butt at times, right? Because then you find yourself in a desperate situation, and that's where they kind of found themselves in the fourth quarter and why they had to fight so hard. You see Drew Holiday pick it up on the defensive end, Giannis, same thing, right? Those guys really have to lock in to, come back and, get a lead. And then, Hauser hits a 3 to send it to overtime, and then they find themselves down by 5 in overtime as well. And you have to, overcome that deficit as well against a extremely short-handed team without, I think, 3 starters for the Celtics. So I think all of that, and like when you take all of that in totality, Ben, me and you think that, the average fan thinks that the Bucks are like, man, we gotta play better. But going into All-Star break, last game against the Bulls, second night of a back-to-back, you look at their roster, they don't have half of their guys tonight. They got smoked last night by the Pacers, couldn't score in the second half, which is typical for them. I think the Bucks are like, yeah, we'll show up, we'll win. I don't know if they necessarily want to win, win this game by double digits, winning by 8 points. So I'm for that reason, that's why I didn't play the spread. I think winning by 7, 8, 9 points on the road is a lot to ask. Yeah, especially in a game like this. But do I expect them to win? Yes, I do. And right. No, absolutely. I think you got to find a way to play it, Ben. And I know you did your analysis, and I like your breakdown as well. So I hope you cash it. Appreciate you sharing it.
For sure.
Absolutely. Godspeed, kicking it to you, my guy. What's going on, Godspeed? Black, I'm coming to you next. Godspeed, can you hear me? I say he was waiting so long he done fell asleep. Black, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good, Black. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. I gave out the Buddy Hield play yesterday over 15 and a half. This man came out first half, didn't have a point. Third quarter, lit him up for 20.
Shout out to you, bro. He crushed that line. I wrote it down yesterday and I was looking at it. I said, okay, Black came in and gave out. You gave out 2 winners yesterday. Didn't you give out Valanciunas too?
Yeah, I gave out 10, over 10 and a half.
Yeah, he cashed that. And Buddy Hield finished the 15 and a half and the 16 and a half cash. Yeah, appreciate you sharing those, bro. What you got something for us today?
Yeah, I got 2 plays today. I already spent what Ben said about Aiken, but I just had like a different point of view. I got an under on Aiken. I got an under 20 and a half in the last 15 games. The Clippers was giving up for a good 3 points percentage. Aiken already played on once this season. He had 13 points. And also in the last 6 games he played against the Clippers. The last 5 out of 6 games he played versus the Clippers, he had less than 20. So, yeah, and I like that. Also, the Clippers are giving up a good 6 points to the pick and roll in this season. And so, some players who fit in the criteria with like Aiken, like how he played in the last 6 games. The Bulls have played, they played classic. He had 15. Jared Allen, 15. Capella, 12. Herbert, he had 12 too. So, that's why I'm going to rock the under with that. And I got Brook Lopez over 20 and a half points and rebounds. Anytime we play the Bulls, we already know we got to pay for these spot up shooters. I like Grayson Allen, but I already have Brook Lopez usage way better. So, the Bulls are giving up the most points for spot up shooters, which is good. And Brook Lopez, you already know he's going to spot up. He's going to do a few picking things. He already played with us. Well, he played twice this season. He had 20 points and rebounds the first game. In the second game, he had 27 points and rebounds. The first game, he shot 0 for 4 from 3. He usually not shooting up that much. So, and the people who fit, like in the criteria of his play style, is that the Bulls have played in the last like 5 games. Now, he had 26 points and rebounds when the corner had 23 points and rebounds. And Jared Jackson had 27 points and rebounds. So, that's my 2 books I got.
Okay. Aiken under his 20 and a half points and Brook Lopez over his 20 and a half points plus rebounds.
Yes, sir.
Cash and Black. Cash and, man. Sound like you did your research, man. I appreciate you sharing it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Godspeed, I want to kick it back to you, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on? How you doing?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I'm on KP, Kristaps Porzingis, man. I know he's a famous player today. A lot of people on him, but I'm targeting at his first quarter points. It's at 7.5 to minus 118 on FanDuel. He hit this number in the last 8 out of 10 games. And when he got hot and had 41 against Minnesota, he had 16 in the first quarter. And they giving up the second most points to the power forward, almost 24, I believe. And I got kind of like a love-hate relationship with Kristaps because that on him take his over full game and he'll start hot, but he won't finish. So I'm gonna target his points early and see if he can take care of it in the first quarter at 8 points.
Okay, so KP over 7.5 in the first quarter specifically.
Yeah.
Get in and get out with KP. You just need him to get 8 in the first quarter. Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Godspeed?
I got a lean. I haven't made it official yet. Call it the double parlay. Vucevic, Aiden, and Gobert. I gotta see how the Gobert news is. But Conley got him looking good over there. And the Wizards, they don't stop centers in the paint. So if he plays, I like him to get a double-double. The rebounds are always going to be there for him. Like I said, that connection with Conley looked pretty good. He had 19 with D'Lo. early in the season, and the connection is better with Conley. So I think Vucevic, you don't really got to worry too much unless the game get out of hand, which it could, but like y'all said, they'll probably be close. And then Aiden been playing pretty well, so I expect him to get a double tonight.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
5 on DK.
What was that, Godspeed? What's the odds?
Plus 305 on DK.
Plus 305 for all three of them to get a double-double?
Yep.
Vucevic, Aiden, and Rudy Gobert tonight. Okay. I don't think he got rolled in yet. I know I talked about that earlier. Him and Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. I think both listed as questionable right now, but I think his props might be available. So overall, I feel like we had a pretty productive show, man. A lot of good looks. It's only 3 games. Somehow we still talk about them for an hour and 10 minutes, and I made my analysis short today. I felt like I did anyway. So that's the end of it for today, man. Official play for me. Like I said, I did take just two small plays for me. I'm on the Suns, minus the 1. I'm also on Kawhi over his 23.5 points. Really like Marcus Morris today too, over his point prop, but I didn't want to play. I'm not playing all that. Lean Timberwolves minus the 3. Really like the spot for the Timberwolves, but the Wizards are balling right now as well. Timberwolves kind of teetering back and forth between winning and losing, so don't really like the spot as much for them. But I do think that they win and they cover, just not playing it. I do like the Suns a little bit more than I like the Timberwolves, so I played the Suns minus the 1. And I also played Kawhi over his 23.5 points. Just really like the spot for Kawhi, especially without Mikal Bridges being there. Also because they don't have Norman Powell, and if I got to trust somebody for the Clippers, it's not Paul George. So give me Kawhi. I think Bones probably plays well, but getting integrated into the offense, could take some time flow wise. He's also used to playing at extremely much faster pace in Denver, than playing in the Clippers. But they're going to need somebody to step up without Norman Powell being there today. So Kawhi points over 23.5, small play. And then I also played the Suns on the money on minus 1. Suns minus 1, which I think is the current line as well. And that's what I'm on today, man. Best of luck to everybody. Appreciate everybody that joined as well and shared plays. Appreciate everybody that's kind of listening and always supporting from afar as well. None of this is financial advice, man. It's all, free consultation. None of this is financial consultation. It's all free advice and theory and logic and query and trends and eye test, SDQL, trends, NBA.com, advanced stats, stab news, a lot of different resources. Bet with your head, not over it, especially on the last night before the All-Star break. I'll be back next week, not doing a show for the All-Star festivities at all this weekend, but I hope you guys cash your wagers, whoever you're picking in whatever different markets that you can pick in tonight. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Best of luck tonight. I'm out.